I think we did a pretty good job so far.
Hello and welcome to Mediawipe, the show where we cover all kinds of lost media. I am your host, Connor Bray, and as August runs its course, we begin to get closer and closer to the fall season. The cold temperatures, the orange leaves falling down from the trees, and the season of all things spooky. As Halloween creeps ever closer to us, we cannot help but think of all things horror. Horror is not just cheap jump scares and practical effects. Rather, it's a primal sense. Fear used to be what kept us alive and safe, and now, it's a medium for our entertainment. An escape from our harsh reality into one more hellish. Last year alone, 567 horror films and 1,637 horror games were made to satisfy our yearn for the dark. So, join me tonight as we take a look at 3 pieces of horror lost media. On August 12th of 2014, a mysterious game demo was uploaded to the PlayStation Store. In this demo, your character goes through what seems to be some sort of time loop in a creepy and mysterious house. The house seeming to deteriorate with each loop of gameplay, and tension building with every step you take. Once completed, you would get a cutscene of the camera following a man walking down a foggy and lamplit street. The camera eventually panning up to his face to reveal Norman Reedus, who, if you didn't know, was Daryl on The Walking Dead. This whole demo was an interactive teaser for a future game with the working name of Silent Hills. This generated hype from many Silent Hill fans, speculating that Silent Hills would be the best game in the whole series, but unfortunately, it was not to be. 3 years later in 2015, Silent Hills was canceled due to Kojima parting ways with Konami that same year. It is unknown just how complete that Silent Hills was, but it is theorized that the game was around the beta stage of development. You will never know, however, as the files were deleted right after its cancellation. We can only hope that someday Konami finds files related to Silent Hill on an old hard drive and puts them out to the world. London After Midnight is perhaps the most famous and coveted piece of horror lost media, dubbed the Holy Grail of horror media by many collectors and fans of the genre. Directed and written by famous horror director Todd Browning, London After Midnight follows a rather hard-to-follow plot involving Roger Balfour being found dead. A Scotland Yard official by the name of Burke, played by Lon Chaney, after questioning all the witnesses, rules his death a suicide, despite an objection by a close friend of Balfour's. 5 years later, strange lights appear in the old Balfour house. Not only that, but a mysterious and vampiric-looking man in a top hat and long robes begins to stalk the halls, Balfour's daughter believing him to be her father. Confused yet? So am I. However, that doesn't make its loss any less tragic. The last known copy of the film was destroyed in the MGM Vault Fire of 1965, leaving us now only with production stills and a movie poster, the only evidence left to prove its existence. My hope is that somewhere out there, a private collector has a reel of the footage stored in their collection. However, as the years go on, it becomes more and more less likely that this movie will ever be found. This entry is one that I haven't seen discussed anywhere online until now. Corpse Party New Chapter was a mobile remake of the RPG Maker survival horror game Corpse Party, developed by Makoto Kaduyan in 1996. For those unfamiliar, Corpse Party follows a group of friends telling scary campfire stories after a school festival. Suddenly, the group are sucked into a mysterious and abandoned school, haunted by the spirit of a deceased student named Shinozaki. New Chapter followed this storyline, but added new characters and new chapters to play through, along with graphical enhancements. 5 chapters were planned for this mobile port, but only 4 released, with the last releasing in 2008. This was due to the devs abandoning New Chapter in favor of a PC remaster known as Corpse Party Blood Covered. It is still unknown when distribution for the game ceased, but it hasn't been available since at least 2010. Currently, the only proof that the mobile port exists is footage of Chapter 1's opening, which can be found on Lost Media Wiki. This, I feel, seems to be the least likely on this list to be found, as mobile games are much harder to archive than others which have been physically released, due to being online exclusive. The obscurity of this game doesn't help its case either. However, there is a part of me that still hopes that the files of this remaster will be found in possession of an old developer. Until then, this game will remain an enigma. I hope you enjoyed today's list of lost oddities. I know I certainly enjoyed researching them. Up next will be wrestling lost media, so strap up your boots for that. Until next time, keep an open mind and a persistent spirit. This has been Mediawipe, signing off.